Welcome back to the Suraj Podcast. In the previous episode, we covered the funeral rites for Baba Gurditta, and chapter 39 now begins describing how all the women of Kirtipur assembled and were crying out loudly in sorrow. All the residents of the city went to go see Guru Hargobind, and a large divan or court session was organized. When they got there, they were saying in front of Guru Hargobind, "What a crazy event has happened. No one really knows what happened. Baba Gurditta was of such a young age, and he had such a sweet disposition. He made everyone happy and treated everyone with respect, always asking about us if we were well. He had such an open heart. He never used to ask for anything. And yet, he wouldn't ever send anyone away without giving them endless gifts. He never had any vices in his mind, and he was always peaceful. At the same time, in the Battle of Kartarpur, he fought in front of everyone. He was such a great warrior, killing countless with his arrows, and he attained victory." The residents were saying these type of praises in front of Guru Hargobind about Baba Gurditta, and Guru Hargobind then was saying comforting words to the residents, saying, "The will of Parameshwar is eternal. Who is so powerful that they can change it? It is over everyone's head, regardless if we consider it good or bad. By accepting the will of Parameshwar, only then one is happy. One should never question it. This is the way of the saints. They have properly understood this and have practiced it." Guru Hargobind said these types of comforting words to the congregation, and then he had sent some servants to tell everyone to stop crying so loudly. The servants went out and said that they should accept the will of the divine, which is subject to everyone. Then messengers were sent around the subcontinent to the important families associated with Guru Hargobind. So a message was first sent to Dhirmal of Kartarpur, Baba Gurditta's eldest son, and then one was sent to Baba Buddha's family, and then one was sent to Rajod's family. So when a messenger reached Kartarpur, the messenger told Dhirmal, he said, "Your father, the exalted Baba Gurditta, has passed away. Guru Hargobind has called you to Kirtipur. You are the eldest son. It behooves you to come to Kirtipur. When you come, bring with you the Granth Sahib. Guru Hargobind wants to have a reading of this Granth and told you to hurry." Dhirmal then thought about this request and asked his servants, "How did my father pass? What illness did he have?" Then the servant told Dhirmal about the story, reviving the cow, and then how Baba Gurditta had a discussion with Guru Hargobind before he left his house to go to a small mountain where he left his body. Dhirmal heard this and then thought in his mind, "I have understood Guru Hargobind's true nature before anyone else. He has no love for his grandkids or his kids. He does whatever he likes. This is the same way his son, Atal Rai, has passed as well, and he had no love for them either. He has always been against me. He can't help me in any way, which is why I left his company in the first place, and I'm in Kartarpur. My father was such a great warrior for him in the Battle of Kartarpur, killing many enemies. What vice did my father have, which resulted in his death? He did a great deed to revive the cow. Guru Hargobind knew this, and even then he asked him to give up his life. It doesn't make sense for me now to go there. Everyone there will say, what will Guru Hargobind do for me if, by his words, my father has died? In fighting with the emperor, killing thousands of Turks, he has ruined everything for us, as we had to leave Kartarpur, a place which was very prosperous for us. But I was very clear in making a deal with the emperor, writing him a letter to pledge my allegiance to him. If it wasn't for me, this whole city would have been ransacked by the emperor after the battle. I protected all the wealth and the houses in the city with my brilliance, but if now I go to Kirtipur, I'll ruin my relationship I have with the emperor, and I won't even benefit from seeing Guru Hargobind. So no one really knows who Guru Hargobind will give the next Guru position to, so I'll just continue to stay here under the protection of the emperor." He said this to the messenger that came, and then that servant went to Ananti, Dhirmal's mother, Baba Gurditta's wife. So the messenger goes to the residence of Ananti and tells her the entire story about what happened to her husband and about the conversation he just had with her son. So Ananti then breaks down when hearing that her husband Baba Gurditta has passed. And all the women from the town of Kartarpur, they also hear this news and they come to visit Ananti. And they were also very in sorrow and they were crying very loudly. All the men then went to go see Dhirmal of the city of Kartarpur, and for about an hour and a half they stayed there discussing, talking about Baba Gurditta, praising him. It then became late evening time when everybody went back home. But at that time, Ananti went to go see her son, Dhirmal. So Ananti was trying to tell Dhirmal that he should go to Kirtpur, to fulfill his duty. Being the eldest son, he has to help out with the funeral rites as the next few days pass. He would receive a turban, a dastar from the congregation and Guru Hargobind as he is the eldest son. If he doesn't go, then he won't receive anything from the congregation or Guru Hargobind. So, nor would he receive the title of Guru in the future. And if this happens, then, how can he expect people to worship him going forward? Dhirmal then responded saying that he had already thought about this and that the Guru would not give him anything. And Guru Hargobind just wants to take the Granth Sahib off him. And if that happens, then he will truly not have anything in Kartarpur. It is through the keeping of the Granth Sahib that I will receive Guruship later on, he says. All the congregation worships me because the Granth Sahib is in my custody. He then tells his mother that if she wants to go for the funeral rites, that she should go the next morning, early in the morning. But, he would not join her. So Ananti then the next morning left for Kirtpur, and in reaching Kirtpur, she meets with her two mother-in-laws, Mata Nanki, Mata Marwahi, and they all begin to start crying again. So Ananti was crying out, yelling that I was not even able to see my husband in the last moments of his life. The crying and the grieving only stopped after a very long time. Guru Hargobind heard that Dhirmal didn't come to Kirtpur with his mother, and when hearing that, he just remained quiet after he heard those news, because he knew that, Dhirmal was basically in the same vein as Guru Arjan's elder brother, Prithichan, basically extremely corrupt. And all the funeral rites that were now to take place fell on the head of Harirai, who conducted them with great respect and composure. So this ends chapter 39, and in the next chapter we'll hear about how all the Sikhs like Jodharai and others come to Kirtpur to pay respect to Harirai and Guru Hargobind. And then we'll hear about the philosophical discussions that take place regarding death. So that's where we'll pick up next time. But as always, we'd like to thank those who have been supporting the podcast through the Mangalacharan Patreon page.
जाऊगा चढ़ के खाल से ना हारेगा तरला लाला मरेगा शर्म परेगा ते तरेगा गज गज करा जावे गुरु अर्जन साहब जे मन पावे निहाल हो जावे सत श्री अकाल।